majority of them here are in the informal sector. So you know Nigeria's economy is largely driven by the informal sector. About 80% of our economy is informal. So for NIPC, you're tasked with the responsibility of driving investments. And a lot of times the focus has mostly been on major businesses. For small businesses like this, how can NIPC support them in terms of inclusion? How do you pass on the information on incentives that are currently available for them to maximize? A lot of times we hear about NIPC in the urban areas, in the bigger cities, but there are lots of entrepreneurs in Bayelsa who are in the rural cities, other states as well who are in the rural cities. How do you ensure that the right information gets to them timely with respect to getting them included in your activities for investments?
Thank you for that question. I talked about, when I was making my address, I talked about first formalizing your business. And the formal way to get your business done is what he just explained, getting it incorporated with CAC. Now, she asked a question. Once your business is registered with CAC, what next? The ideal answer is, once you have registered with CAC, you would like to scale up, right?
Definitely.
You would like to be bigger than how you were after registration. Now, this is where NIPC comes in. We understand that most businesses at a small scale have a tendency to fizzle out within the first 2-3 years if they don't scale up. Have we seen those who started business and within a short time they have closed shop? Have we seen them?
Yes.
Yes. So we're mindful of that, and we said, look, you need to be able to.
Bayelsa was ranked top 3 in Nigeria with respect to ease of doing business, and we've seen that improve. Now, a lot of young entrepreneurs complain about data, they complain about electricity, and you still keep up with the push of launching BIP. What would you say to youngsters here who might be slightly discouraged or not as encouraged to want to continue with the process, thinking, well, a lot of times we have challenges with data, a lot of times we have challenges with road networks, so even if I want to go into e-commerce, how do I deal with it? A lot of times we have challenges with power and electricity, so even if I want to go into e-commerce or digital marketing, how do I deal with it? And now, do you plan to establish a working relationship with service providers with respect to telecommunications? I'd like you to respond very quickly to that, and then you can add a few other things you have to say.
Thank you very much, Wofai. Well, the truth is, when we got on board, when we started this project, it looked like it was never going to happen because it wasn't the regular thing. I mean, it wasn't the regular thing they were used to here. So, like, where's she coming from? What exactly is she talking about? I mean, we got on calls. I went on the street, literally went on the street. I engaged Bayelsans, and the feedback we got, if you are not resilient, if you are not focused, it was enough to put me off. But I said to myself and my team, I said, no, we are going to make sense out of this nonsense. We are going to make something out of this resistance, and that is why we're here today. So I'm saying to every entrepreneur seated here in this hall, I mean, when you have so much resistance, that's to tell you that there is actually something in that thing for you. So when there's resistance, it's not enough for you to back off or to run. I mean, you don't have to, you're not a coward. So when you have setbacks, people are sabotaging what you want to do, people think you're dreaming too big, she's overambitious. I need to tell you, that is the way to go.
Now, when you look at the population of Bayelsa or the population of Nigeria, usually it is more female dominated. And records and statistics have shown that in 2024, about 60% of women do not have access to formal loans from banks. As a regulator, we've seen what has gone on here today with the governor speaking directly to a bank who would support one of the small businesses. As a regulator, what are you doing for more females, more entrepreneurs, like I mentioned, especially female-led entrepreneurs, to be able to access some digital incentives from the financial sector for Bayelsa and, of course, for Nigeria? So let's say Nigeria, and then we trickle down to Bayelsa.
The National Collateral Registry is a regulator working right under the umbrella of the Central Bank of Nigeria to provide increased financial inclusion for Nigerians, and especially for women. Now, for a program like the BIP, which is very monumental because it is driven by a passion I can see is coming from the very top. I can very categorically say that women are not going to be left out. You know, besides what the central bank has been doing over the years to improve gender financial inclusion, and by the way, the gender financial inclusion, that is the financial inclusion gap, the gender inclusion gap between the males and the females in Nigeria have been narrowing over the last 10 years because of the financial policies of the Central Bank of Nigeria, of course, supported by all the other regulators, both in the financial and non-financial system.
Thank you very much. As we begin to wrap up, I'd like to get a final word from the Representative Registrar General of the CAC. Could you please say something to motivate the young entrepreneurs we have here? Thank you.
As part of the support to this program, I think we have relocated the CAC office in Bayelsa State here. They are with us here to support these young men to get themselves registered so that they will start the business. And by doing so, we have empowered them to have access to capital, government grants, and other interventions. I wish you good luck. Thank you very much.